Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Marino Ravenberg here again, as always, and as usual. This is the first video on a series called For Dummies, essentially. And this is, as you can tell by the header, Astrology for Dummies. The people that are watching this regarding target audience, I expect people to watch this, although anybody is welcome to watch it, obviously, but the target audience for this video and this video series that the playlist will be named after, if there is a playlist. But regardless of whether that's the case, in any case, any video labeled For Dummies, so something something for dummies, is obviously self-explanatory. So in this case, let's dive right in. This video is for people that don't know squat about astrology. I repeat, this video is for people that don't know anything about astrology, hence the title, Astrology for Dummies. Now, yeah, let's get started. Now, let me start off by saying that the bullshit, I'm sorry, the nonsense you read in thingies, that you read in like a newspaper and stuff like that, about your horoscope and stuff like that. All of that stuff, like, hey, check out your horoscope. Ooh, Pisces, blah, 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 the description. All of that is pure nonsense. That's not real astrology, okay? And you might be asking me, but wait a minute, sometimes on rare occasion, the description is very accurate. So why is that the case? That's the case because even a computer-generated description gets it right 1 out of 100, out of 1,000 times, you will. Okay, nothing but coincidence. Bear in mind, that's pure coincidence. Now, second misconception is, I'm a Libra, I'm a Scorpio, I'm a Sagittarius. No, no, and no. What that means, viewer or viewers, is that the sun was in that zodiac sign when you were born. The sun by default changes zodiac signs once every month approximately. So if the sun was in Sagittarius when you were born, that doesn't mean that you're a Sagittarius. The sun was in Sagittarius when you were born. There is no Ima. No, there is none of that. Now, I'll get more into that later, but that's all you need to know for now. Astrology, real astrology, looks like this, what you're seeing on screen. This is an astrological chart. And again, this is actual astrology. Actual astrology is simply put, the simplest way I can put it is the movement of planets and other celestial bodies, respectively in relation to what constellation they're in or were in, and what zodiac sign they were in, or better said the other way around, what zodiac sign and constellation they were in, and the relationships they have to other planets. All of this conveys information. All of this mirrors the will from above, so to speak. Does not matter what your religious alignment or affiliation is. Bluntly put, this reflects God's will in relation to a specific subject matter. Even if you're an atheist, you can call it the universe's will. Fact of the matter is that, again, factual information, no different than using a calculator, is conveyed and showcased. Example, your birth information. The date, time, and location that you were born in, when you input that in any kind of astrology website, you'll get something similar to what you're seeing on screen. This is called a planetary constellation, okay? This is called a birth chart or a natal chart because it references to the planetary constellation when you were born. A constellation simply means where all planets were located zodiacally, so zodiac-wise, as well as what part of the universe they were in. You have several constellations named after zodiac signs. For example, the constellation of Taurus, the constellation of Virgo, Sagittarius, and it just goes on. It simply covers a specific section of the cosmos. That's all you need to know at a really basic level. Now, all of this information is factual provided that it is done correctly. I repeat, all of this information is factual, no different than entering 1 plus 1 on a calculator will always give 2 based on the law of plain and simple logic. I take one apple and another apple, I get two apples. I take one orange and I take another one and I put them next to each other, I get two oranges. Yes, that's how the world works, viewer or viewers. Now, like I said, everything, okay, is pure fact. As long as you're given birth information is correct, then all of it will be correct, okay? As long as you literally put in the correct day and year and time and location that you were born, then it's not an issue. Even if you don't have the time, that's also acceptable. You just make do with what you have, but I will get into that later. Now, within this is called natal astrology, referring again to birth astrology, as in you're going to use astrology to see what quote unquote was up when you were born, as in what was going on when you were born, and you want to extract information. This is, make no mistake, viewer, this is divine knowledge. This is not knowledge that is meant for the average dumbass, or it's meant for some idiot or someone that, again, it's just messing around and they're just talking out of their rear end, out of their derriere, out of their ass, when they have no idea what they're going on about. You seriously want to know your God-given personality or your factual personality, and you're essentially looking in the direction of astrology because you, quote, heard something, unquote, then yeah, you are correct in thinking that. Now, within birth astrology or natal astrology, where every planet was, the zodiac sign it was in, the part of the universe it was in, so what constellation it was in, the distance that these planets are removed from each other, how close or how far away they are from one another, all of that, viewer or viewers, all of that, I repeat, all of that, okay, conveys information. It conveys and it mirrors what personality was given to you at birth and what your life will look like, generally speaking. Now, you need to keep in mind that although this is concrete, that doesn't mean that it is unbreakable. Just like concrete, it can be modified, it can be polished, and it can be adjusted. In that same fashion, someone's personality can also be modified, adjusted, or polished. But of course, this takes tremendous amounts of effort. The same way that if you wanted to reshape a block of concrete, a slab of concrete, you would need power tools, tremendous levels of strength, and it would take a ridiculous long time to actually shape it into something you want to shape it. Just ask a sculptor whether sculpting statues is easy, to take a slab of concrete and to literally shape it into something. No. It's tremendously consuming in terms of time and resources, not to mention effort. It takes a tremendous amount of resources, time, energy, everything. Now, that being said, I'm going to give you an example using my birth information to serve as an example. Okay, you're seeing my name in the top left corner here, where I'm pointing at currently with the cursor. Marino Ravenberg, natal chart. I was born on September the 29th, 1985. This was a Sunday, hence the abbreviation here, Sun, S-U-N. I was born at 1:25 p.m. This is the time zone. BZT stands for Brazilian time zone. BZT 2 simply stands for Brazilian time zone 2. +3 simply stands for, again, the universal time added +3. It's just basic time zone gibberish, so to speak. You don't have to bother with that, okay? Now, I was born in the city of Paramaribo in the country of Suriname. So, city and country, and then these are the geographical coordinates of my respective country of birth. And for the rest, it's just astrological, technical mumbo-jumbo that you don't have to worry about. Geocentric, tropical, Placidus, and true node. You don't have to worry about that right now. Like I said, don't even bother with it. That's only if you seriously intend on delving into astrology, but you don't have to bother with that. All you need to remember, okay, name, okay, it's a natal chart, so a birth chart. This is when you were born, the day, the year, the time, and the place you were born. Okay, understood, Mr. Ravenberg. Now, this is what an astrological chart looks like Looks quite complicated, doesn't it? Especially with all of these squiggly lines in the middle. You've got blue lines, green lines, red lines, you know, the whole 9 yards, everything. It's like a spider web. Yeah. Don't bother with that. You don't have to worry about that right now. Don't focus on this. Just start with the basics. Now, you're seeing certain sections that are numbered. For example, this section has a number 1. This section 2. And it just goes on in a counterclockwise fashion. It's like a clock, but you're going in the opposite direction. You're going from like 12 to 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, and it just goes on. So you're seeing all of this here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, okay, and it just goes on. It just moves in one big circle. These sections are called houses. I repeat, these sections are called houses. Remember all of this because it's important that you absorb the information if you want to understand astrology seriously. This is Western astrology, mind you. It's also something I need to bring up. But this is something that applies across all facets of astrology, regardless of the branch. Again, don't worry about that right now. Just focus on astrology. This is called an astrological house. I repeat, this is called an astrological house. This is called the first house. That's why it's labeled 1. And as you can already deduct for yourself, the others are called by similar names. The second house, the third house, the fourth house, the fifth, the sixth, the 7th, the 8th, the 9th, the 10th, the 11th, and the 12th. And it just goes on. Now, these houses are constellations. Okay? They're ruled, each of them is ruled by a zodiac sign. The first house is ruled by Aries, by the zodiac sign Aries. I repeat, the first house is ruled by Aries, the zodiac sign Aries. The second one by the zodiac sign Taurus. I repeat, Taurus. And it just goes on. Now pay close attention. I'm only going to say this once. The third house is ruled by Gemini, the zodiac sign Gemini. The fourth house by the zodiac sign Cancer. The fifth house by the zodiac sign Leo. The sixth house by the zodiac sign Virgo. The seventh by the zodiac sign Libra. The 8th by the zodiac sign Scorpio, the 9th by the zodiac sign Sagittarius, the 10th by the zodiac sign Capricorn, the 11th by the zodiac sign Aquarius, and the 12th house by the zodiac sign Pisces. And then the cycle repeats itself. Now, you're seeing several thick lines, specifically 4. There is one line here, there is one here with an arrow pointing up top, there is another one adjacent to the arrow pointing up top, and there is another line here across from this line. So you've got 2 horizontal lines and you've got 2 vertical lines. You don't have to bother with, for example, these lines. Don't even remotely bother with them. Only focus on this one and the one with the arrow pointing upward. Now again, listen closely to me because I'm not going to repeat myself this time. This line, this horizontal line, right where the first house begins, the constellation ruled by Aries, so we'll call it the Aries constellation, is called the ascendant. Okay, A-S-C-E-N-D-A-N-T. I repeat, A-S-C-E-N-D-A-N-T, ascendant. This is called the ascendant. You'll hear that a lot in astrology, in astrological lingo, if you will. Okay, in general astrological terms. The ascendant simply represents a new day beginning because people have invented a convenient time-based cycle where a new day begins after midnight. But in actuality, listen closely to what I'm saying. In actuality, spiritually, so in the spirit world and everything that you can think of, in actuality, so what is the case in real life, a new day begins when the sun rises. That's when a new day actually begins. So yes, if for example it's Monday and it's 4 a.m. in the morning, then guess what? It's not Tuesday yet. People simply invented that the same way they invented calendar so that they can keep track of time in an accurate and straightforward manner. But in actuality, time begins, a new day time-wise, begins when the sun rises. I repeat, when the sun rises, regardless of where you are in the world. You're somewhere in the world and the sun rises at 7 a.m., 7:15 a.m., 8:15 a.m., 9:15 a.m. Yeah, that's when a new day officially begins. When you see the sun rising, that means that, oh, Tuesday is beginning. So yes, Monday is officially over. When the sun rises, astrologically, that stands for the ascendant. That's why the phrase ascendant rising is also something that you'll hear frequently used. The word ascendant and rising. Now, an introduction to zodiac signs and their symbols. Okay. Now, don't focus on the constellations. I already explained all of that. Don't focus on the houses. From henceforth, I'll be calling them houses. Focus purely on the zodiac signs that I'm going to mention. And again, I'm not going to repeat myself. So focus. Okay, I'm only going to say it once. This, what you're seeing here, this red symbol with this red symbol looking like a ram's horns or the horns of a goat, that's the zodiac sign Aries. The zodiac sign Aries. This olive green or olive brown circle looking thing with horns is called the zodiac sign Taurus. Now, keep up with me because I'm going to go a little bit faster. This is the zodiac sign Gemini. I repeat, Gemini. This is the zodiac sign Cancer. This is Leo. This is Virgo. This is Libra. This is Scorpio. This is Sagittarius. This is Capricorn. And let me see. This is Aquarius. And this is Pisces. Those are all the zodiac signs you have. They are 12 in number. If you're paying attention, obviously you should be, by all means and accounts, but in a matter of speaking, you'll notice that there are also 12 astrological houses. Obviously, it makes sense because each house, each constellation is ruled by a zodiac sign, just like I explained earlier. Again, the first house is ruled by Aries, and it just goes on and on and on. Now, next up, we're going to discuss planets, okay? Now, I'm going to start here first, and you can follow everything. Or you know what? Better said, I'm going to start here. Let's start with the sun. This is the sun. Okay, this big dark yellow thing, circle with a point in the middle, or a dot in the middle, or a period, whatever you want to call it, is the symbol for the planet, the sun. So keep track. This is the sun. This is Mercury. This is Mars. This is Venus. This is the moon. This is Jupiter. This is Neptune. This is Uranus. This is Saturn. And this is Pluto. Let me see if I missed something. No. Those are all you need to know. 10 planets in total. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 10 planets. That's it. Now, let's move on to the basics. Gonna keep it real simple. Ignore the numbers you're seeing under planets, okay? You don't have to complicate things, okay? This is literally basic. Again, astrology for dummies. Now, you're seeing here, when I was born, that the sun was in the zodiac sign Libra. Ignore the 6, okay? The 6 simply stands for degrees, okay? Every zodiac sign has 30 degrees, but I'm not going to complicate or burden you with that. All you need to remember, planet, zodiac sign. Now, the sun was in the zodiac sign Libra. Mercury, the planet Mercury, was also in the zodiac sign Libra. And it just goes on. The planets Mars and Venus are both in the zodiac signs Virgo. The moon is in the zodiac sign Aries. Neptune is in the zodiac sign Capricorn. Jupiter is in the zodiac sign Aquarius. Uranus is in the zodiac sign Sagittarius. Saturn is in the zodiac sign Scorpio. And the same goes for Pluto. And those are all the 10 planets that you see here. Okay, every planet is in a zodiac sign, obviously. Now, pay attention. I'm not going to repeat myself. Let's take it from the top. The Sun and Mercury, like I already said, they're in the zodiac sign Libra. And what house are they in? What constellation? The 9th. Which zodiac sign rules the 9th again? Exactly, Sagittarius. So, the official phrase is the Sun and Mercury were in the zodiac signs Libra in the house of Sagittarius when I was born. Pluto is in Scorpio in the house of Capricorn when I was born, also known as the 10th house or the Capricornian constellation or the constellation of Capricorn. Saturn in Scorpio is in the constellation of Aquarius, the 11th astrological house, and Uranus is also there in Sagittarius. Neptune in Capricorn is in the house of Pisces, the 12th house. Jupiter in Aquarius is in the house of Aries. The moon in Aries is in the house of Gemini, the 3rd house, and it just goes on. Last but not least, Mars and Venus are in Virgo, like I already mentioned, in the 8th house. And that house is ruled by the zodiac sign Scorpio. And those are all the planets in their respective zodiac signs, in their respective constellations. Now, that's all that you need to remember. This is officially what an astrological chart looks like. Everything has a meaning, okay? Where every planet was, the zodiac sign they were in, and what constellation they were in. All of that has a meaning, okay? The planets themselves, they don't influence your behavior in a matter of speaking. They don't do any of that stuff, okay? Again, in a matter of speaking, they do up to a certain degree, but don't pay attention to that. My point in case is that they simply reflect information. The same way that when you use a calculator, 1 plus 1 equals 2. The calculator isn't responsible for the equation, the mathematical equation 1 plus 1 equals 2. No. The calculator is simply conveying information to you, factual information, as in, hey, you wanted to know how much 1 plus 1 is, I'm telling you the answer. Yes, it's the same thing. Where every planet was when you were born, for example, within the scope, so within the confines of birth or natal astrology, where every planet was when you were born, what zodiac sign it was in, and what planetary constellation, so what house it was in, all of that has a meaning. That's all you need to remember. It's that simple. Now you're familiar with astrology at a base level. The meanings and definitions and what all of it means is a different situation altogether. You seriously want it read, then you need to consult a professional astrologer like me, for example. But this is simply what you need to remember. Okay, that concludes astrology for dummies. Just ignore the fact that I have mail. That concludes, I repeat, that concludes this segment, Astrology for Dummies. And again, I'm going to close off by saying, see, so no mumbo jumbo that, hey, I'm a Libra because the sun was in Libra when I was born. When I, Marino Ravenberg, was born, the sun and Mercury were in Libra when I was born. Now, you don't have to bother even with the arrow pointing upward, okay? This arrow pointing upward is also in Libra, but again, don't bother with that. Only the ascendant will be enough so that you have an ultra basic elementary level understanding of astrology. Now you know how actual astrology works. That doesn't mean that I'm a Libra just because the sun was in Libra and the planet Mercury. I have a strong Libra influence, correct. But that doesn't literally mean that, oh, I'm a Libra, so that's all there is to me. No. If you look at everything, you'll see, hey, Mr. Ravenberg has 2 planets in Libra. He has that arrow pointing upward in Libra. He has Mars and Venus in Virgo. He has the moon in Aries. He has Jupiter in Aquarius. He has Neptune in Capricorn. Uranus in Sagittarius, and he has the planets Saturn and Pluto in Scorpio. Yes, that's it. So pretty even, generally speaking. Generally speaking. Now, that's all. That's all you need to remember. Okay, that's it at a basic level. That concludes, like I said, Astrology for Dummies. Until next time, potentially.